the greatest de-evolution of technology we have ever seen.
Oh, stop it.
We have, because we know for a fact that millimeter wave is going to be required in 6G. Terahertz technology. It's literally the full connectivity is required. Why? Because you will have XR, VR, AR, XR, all different types of realities in either a super low latency, minimalistic headset, glasses, or a full bodysuit with a glasses situation, right? Disney already came out and said that they have the infinity, what's it called? The infinity treadmill, right? It's like a square that you literally walk around and you stay in one place position wise, but you're actually moving inside a game. But anyways, this is the greatest de-evolution of technology we have ever seen that is directly influenced by an OEM, not from the government, not from the carriers. This is unprecedented. Keep this in mind, what I'm about to say. In the last 25 years, we have only seen Apple add and force changes to the carriers. Prime example, eSIM. Prime example, 2018. AT&T was the first carrier to introduce the eSIM to the United States. Number two, what ended up happening as soon as Apple wanted to pivot in the iPhone 14 full eSIM, right? iPhone 14 full eSIM, no ifs, ands, or buts. We're going to go all in on the United States, and they're forcing every single carrier to do it. Now, they have forced United States carriers to remove millimeter wave from one device so far. What's to say that the iPhone is not going to have millimeter wave, ladies and gentlemen? Let me remind you one other thing that you guys brought up in the podcast a couple of weeks ago. And Chacha also checked me on this. CRAN, small cells, are being retrofitted. They're getting the millimeter wave antennas taken away, and they're adding C-band antennas and radios. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize if it took too long to get to the point, but we have arrived finally. Millimeter wave as a technology is officially half out the door.
So what I'm hearing is we have AT&T and T-Mobile to blame for not committing to the technology. That's what I'm hearing.
Yep. Bullseye. Bullseye. Ding, 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 ding. The two broke companies couldn't afford to expand millimeter wave. So now Apple's saying, okay, we're not going to do it.
Go ahead, Ian. Go ahead. Keep going.
I'm just saying, we're if Apple has that much pull in the decisions of the telcos, then we only have the other two to blame for not committing to building it out and committing to the technology. Especially AT&T, because AT&T has no excuse. They are a wireline business. They have outside plant engineers. They have the people to design and build a dense network that is needed for millimeter wave.
Well, they were too busy trying to sell pay TV via direct TV.
And they were too busy screwing around with whatever they were doing before they decided to deploy C-band, which they've done half-assed. So in T-Mobile, again, they were going through the merger. They were preoccupied with that, so they didn't commit to it either. We have the other two telcos to blame for this, and if we start losing it on all of these other devices, whether it be Samsungs or Pixels or whatever, it's very unfortunate. As tech enthusiasts, everyone that's watching this and everyone on the panel should be very disappointed by this.
Can I jump in on this part? Can I jump in on this real quick? This is this would be it's speculative. There is absolutely zero confirmation that the iPhones will be losing millimeter wave. This is purely speculation built on millimeter wave support no longer in the iPad Pro. But with respect to, let's just go ahead and run with it. Speculation of the iPhone possibly losing it because they did this. It would be a huge regression to the industry. The thing that millimeter wave signals millimeter wave technology is this little thing in cellular networks called densification, in which you need tighter tower grids. You need lots of small cells in CRAN because of space, that they typically only cover so much, distance and stuff like that. But we literally don't have midband. We literally don't have enough. There is no timeline for another midband auction. We have no clue when that is going to happen. To put up the white flag on the only absolutely singular capacity cheat code. There is no other solution for extreme capacity. There is no combination of any midband spectrum at any carrier that can support the heavy usage and demand of concert venues, NBA games, NFL games, where you have tens of thousands of folks.
Thank you.
They cannot support fixed wireless access long term. It
Thank
cannot
you.
be done. We do not have the tools to do it outside of millimeter wave. Why
You
the
know what?
hell do carriers invest in 10 gig backhaul and better to put that on 100 or 200 megahertz of bandwidth? This
Sneed,
doesn't make any sense.
And
pull up.
and you know what?
Pull up.
Hold on. Let me say this real quick. I refuse to buy the notion that T-Mobile and AT&T see little to no value in millimeter wave, because we are actively seeing T-Mobile deploy millimeter wave right now. Same with AT&T. They're adding it in venues, they're adding it in airports. So I don't want to hear this two-faced like Death
Z, I
Star
wonder why.
narrative right now. Like, come on, man.
I'm sorry.
Can't. I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
Moose is wrong on this one, man. I'm sorry. Moose is wrong. With all due respect. Sneak, pull up the stats for network usage at the Super Bowl. Pull up the stats for the event in Las Vegas that Los was kind enough to give us eyesight to give us some some visibility to.
You can't do it without millimeter wave.
Can't do it without millimeter wave. So just because Apple, who I just narrated and I just said, is pretty much trying to save money like everybody else in the world is right now, all of a sudden that means doom and gloom to millimeter wave? That is ridiculous. It's with all due respect, it is intellectual. It is intellectually lazy to assert something like that, given what we know.
We're saying the industry is regressing if millimeter wave is no longer an initiative for future networking.